Right, welcome back everyone. It is Sunday afternoon. I just woke up. I feel fucking awful. I went to a music festival with some friends yesterday and had too much fun. Now, the week is almost over and I haven't taken any shots this week or made a video about taking photos. So I'm going to meet Jane. I'm going to meet Shane and Joe today. I ordered an umbrella. We have some fairy lights and we're gonna see if we can make something cool with those two items. Shane had this idea of attaching the fairy lights to the umbrella and have a model kind of pretend to be flying away with the umbrella, a bit like Mary Poppins. So that's the kind of rough idea. We haven't really figured out all of the details yet, but as we always do, we don't want to overthink it and just go out and shoot the pictures. And you know, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Let's see how it goes today. Boom, all right. Dinner's finished. I am having some tea to help my throat recover because it's not feeling too great after yesterday. Me and Shane are now in Chinatown. We're just waiting for the others to arrive. We have a bunch of stuff, so we're gonna do some DIY now. Basically, we have an umbrella and it lights up, so we're going to use this. Then we're going to tape the fairy lights to the outside of the umbrella, and then the idea is to get this kind of Mary Poppins style jumping, like I'm floating away type photograph. We're not quite sure how we will actually execute it because we also want bus trails in the background. So it's going to be a long exposure photo, but also like an action shot because we want to capture the model mid-air. So yeah, stay tuned. We'll have to do some problem solving. Untangling fairy lights is fucked. It's so hard. It's taken me about 10 minutes now. I made like barely any progress. I passed it on to Shane now because I need a break. But we're making some progress on untangling the fairy light. After we untangle it, we're going to tape it to the umbrella, and after that, we should be okay. This is called delegation. It's the process of palming off responsibility to other people when you don't want to do a task.
Untangling it for like 10 minutes.
Oh, this is taking so long to untangle this fucking thing. Yes, quick tip, if you have fairy lights, maybe you wrap them around the plastic bottle or something, just so you don't end up with this mess. So what we're doing is, we've got Lydia standing in the middle of Regent Street, and we're going to wait for a bus to come past, and we basically want to take a long exposure of the bus going on both sides and Lydia standing in the middle. Let's hope it works out. We also really want a shot where Lydia jumps up and we kind of freeze her mid-air, but then also get a long exposure of the two buses and maybe merge it in Photoshop, but we'll see if that works out. Well, that's cool. It actually worked out quite well. We managed to get a shot with two buses going past at the same time. Now we're just changing the pose slightly. I'm going to ask Lydia to do go on her tiptoes a little bit to pretend that she's about to take off. I don't think actually jumping up mid-air and taking the photo would look as good as we might think. So I think tiptoes is the way forward. So now we're just going to wait for another bus.
So slow.
2, 1, jump.
I think I was too soon. 2, 1, go.
Right, the tiptoe thing didn't really work because it's basically impossible to go on tiptoes and stay steady for like half a second, which is the shutter speed that we were using. The jumping shots are proving to be a lot more difficult than initially thought. Actually no, we knew it was going to be fucking difficult. But now we've got two light sticks, so Imtiyaz and Joe are on the light sticks, and Shane is taking the picture. Hopefully that's going to provide enough light so that we can put the shutter speed to like 1/250, just so we're able to properly freeze Lydia in motion while she's jumping. Umbrella shoot is done. Would you say it was successful?
Yeah, we could say it.
Okay, successful. We're going to see the results soon. There might be some Photoshop involved, which I'm too shit to do. So Shane, the Photoshop master, we'll rely on him.
Photoshop.
Basically, the jumping shot worked in the end, but we needed a lot of extra lights to be able to do it. Now, we're gonna pick up my batteries from the restaurant and then head to our next location. The secret location. Fine, you've convinced me, I'll go on another rooftop. Never been up here before, it's very exciting. I'm loving it so far. I'm gonna put the GoPro on and try and get a couple of cool shots. I can see the Shard over there, I can see the walkie-talkie and a bunch of other buildings whose names I don't know. But yeah, this is sick. I'm sure we'll get some cool shots out of this one. Short POV segment. We are currently on a roof at an undisclosed location. And I'm just setting up my mini tripod to be able to take a long exposure shot of these buildings. We've got the walkie-talkie on the right and what I think is 22 Bishopsgate on the left. I'm not sure. Unfortunately, my L bracket hasn't arrived yet. I ordered it ages ago. So I'm going to use my tripod horizontally to actually be able to get all of these buildings in the same shot. If I were to do it vertically like so, you can't get everything in frame. So in this case, I'm going to do it vertically like this. In terms of settings, it's very, very dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture for a very long amount of time. So what I'm going to do to compensate is just increase the shutter speed, or slow down the shutter speed rather. I think I'm going to go for maybe 2 seconds. There we go. So a quick check to see if that's in focus. Yeah. Okay, now if I go lower down, oh, that's cool. I like that. Oh yeah, that's cool. Twist your body a bit towards me. Okay, and then look towards the light.
That looks so good, mate.
Oh fuck, how do we activate it again? And we're back in the apartment. No longer ill, I'm actually filming this a couple of weeks after the actual shoot took place because there was no way that I was just not in the right shape to continue filming at the end of that shoot. This is the finished product, this is the umbrella. Just taking a moment to appreciate the craftsmanship that Shane and Joe put into this. They took the fairy lights and carefully wrapped it around the end of each of these bits of the umbrella. The battery pack is taped to the bottom of the umbrella and I can turn it on and off like so. And it actually still kind of works. I can still fairly easily do this and store it away for future use. Now, let's talk about the shots. I was fairly happy with the portraits that I took. I'll put them up on screen now. I took fairly basic portraits of Lydia on Regent Street. Although what could have made the whole shot better is if I had a mist filter on, because mist filters give your image this kind of dreamy, misty look, like the name implies. I actually picked one up because I saw Shane's photo, which I'll put up on screen, and there's always this misty, dreamy glow around any lights in the picture, especially at nighttime. And they explained that the reason why his pictures look like that is because he has a mist filter, such as this one. I really hope that this is focused. If not, I'll have to retake it. This is the Tide diffusion filter, which I picked up on Amazon for about £40. If you're interested in seeing what it's like, maybe I'll do a video in the future. Let me know in the comments. Shane took a couple of pictures where he combined multiple long exposure pictures with the portrait of Lydia. So you can see on screen here, you've got a bus on the left-hand side and a bus on the right-hand side. Those two trails were taken separately, and then Shane basically merged them in Photoshop. So you have both of the bus trails and Lydia all in one picture. Probably my favorite picture of the night was actually taken right at the very end. As we were leaving the rooftop, we quickly remembered that, oh yeah, we were actually going out to shoot this umbrella. So we got the umbrella out on the rooftop, I held it up, and Joe and Shane both took a picture of me. Unfortunately, the GoPro wasn't turned on while I was holding the umbrella, and neither Joe or Shane were filming. So we actually have no B-roll for that process, but this is probably my favorite picture of the night. I'll put it up on screen. Again, you can see the mist filter doing bits. This whole dreamy look really fits with the magical umbrella prop, whatever you want to call it. Overall, very happy with this shoot, but in the future, what I would do differently is definitely using a mist filter, just to make it a little bit different. Question time. Imtiyaz, could you give me your opinion? I have the Sigma 16 and I hesitate between the Sigma 56, 30 or Tamron 17 to 70. It's difficult to make a choice. Do you have any advice? To answer this question, I think it's important to know what you plan on shooting. Now, is it going to be like street stuff, maybe more architecture things, or are you more moving towards the direction of doing maybe portrait shoots with models or more nighttime photography? Because depending on your answer to that, that will influence what lens is best for you. Now, if you're like me and you're probably not really sure what direction you want to go in yet, you're just kind of walking around the city, taking shots of whatever you see. That could be a wide angle shot or that could be a really zoomed in detailed shot. In that situation, I would recommend the Tamron, just because it gives you that flexibility of being able to zoom in or out depending on what you want to take a picture of. Now, if you're exclusively working with models and you know that you always want that creamy background blur, being able to go down to f1.4 with your aperture, or maybe you really want to focus on nighttime photography where f1.4 also comes in very handy, in those situations, I would recommend the Sigma 56 or 30. Out of those two, I haven't actually tried the 30mm, but I've been very happy with the Sigma 56. I actually did a video a while back on the Sigma 56 because I just bought it a couple of months ago. I've been very, very happy with it. I think that I would probably prefer the 56 over the 30 just because I prefer that focal length. At 56mm, you get a lot of background compression, which means that if you're taking a picture of, say, a model, the background looks closer than it would do at a lower focal length, e.g. 30mm. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed as always, and I'll see you in the next one.